Alright, I'm here at a job here in Spring Branch. Gentleman has a aerobic septic system. Biggest mistake a lot of homeowners are unaware of, unfortunately, is when they build their homes and put their septics in, they have a tendency to have their yards landscaped, and as a result you have situations like this where two of the lids that should be reasonably accessible, especially this smaller 12-inch lid that goes into the aerobic chamber, that should be accessible at all times. It comes from the factory with a plastic lid that's set on with screws and a gasket. Has a larger plastic lid over here on the pump tank that is set on. Another problem he has here is his air pump is out, but we're going to repair that. It's going to have an overhaul. Both diaphragms are blown out. Excuse me. But more importantly, trash lid is approximately 18 inches down. This is the first time the system's been pumped. It's a couple of years overdue. Fortunately, the people that live here don't use an excessive amount. Therefore, they haven't been in any real danger. But typically, about 3 years is average. 24 to 36 months would be common for a residential 500 GPD aerobic system. I'm currently refilling the aerobic chamber. I'm still waiting for my parts to get here so I can finish rebuilding the air pump. We're going to add additional risers to the clarifier, and we're putting risers on the trash tank, so then in the future the customer's not going to have to pay to have this dug up again. Normally when they're like this, we will hand dig them, but the customer wanted this to get exposed as much as possible. That way when we put the risers on, we'll have a good clean setup. And so we brought our mini excavator out, and it's dug up. Already pumped the septic. Septic's already been pumped. And so like I said, I'm waiting for my parts to get here. And all of this here, if these risers, at the time that the yard was landscaped, if these risers had been put on then, it would have saved a lot of people a lot of money all around. Since we didn't have the parts in stock, we had to go out and pick them up, so that's additional expenses on our company, and it's additional expenses for this customer as well. Between the rebuilding the air pump, pumping the septic, digging it up, and putting risers on, he's looking at probably near $1,000 bill. Normally he'd probably be looking at a bill anywhere between $450 to $600 on a pump out, and the rebuild the air pump varies depending on which model it is and the parts. This particular one, parts are usually around $100. Sometimes more, it just depends. As you can see, the diaphragms were blown out completely on both diaphragms of the air pump, and so it's going to have a rebuild because there's no way it can pump air now. And it actually has a safety screw built into it that when they get to that point, they will actually break. And that's to salvage and save the electronic part of the pump, which is the windings, and to try and prevent breaking the bridge inside that the diaphragms are mounted to. Pump's already cleaned up, taken apart, and ready to go. As soon as my parts get here, have that thing put back together. We got to get our risers put on and set them, and as soon as we get the risers in place, we will be able to go ahead and try and put this back together. And he's going to have some additional grass left over, so he can use that for patching some parts of his yard. Probably going to have some additional dirt left. Don't know what he's going to do with that. And obviously somewhere along the line, the builder or somebody, after the tank was put in, decided to backfill the yard with a lot of garbage and got a lot of bricks in it. I don't know what the gentleman's going to do with those, but I'm sure he'll find a use. He sits pretty high on a hill up here, and but he definitely got a nice view. But if people want to try and save themselves some additional excess expenses in the future, when you're building a home and you're putting a septic in, if you even remotely think that you're going to landscape your yard, which is going to raise the level around your tank, please make sure that either your service provider or you yourself acquires these parts for these risers, or your installer, and have them put risers on it and get them up to ground level to where it's more accessible. It'll save you money in the long run, because we typically charge $65 an hour to dig if I'm hand digging. Since we brought the Mini out, I have no idea what the actual charge was going to be for digging, but if you think about this when you're building a home or remodeling a home, if you have to put in a new septic on your home and you're forced to go with an aerobic system, even on conventionals, be sure and put your risers in. A lot of people don't want to see it. As you can see here, he tried covering all this up with trees, and unfortunately he planted these trees right on top of the tank, and I haven't said anything, but so far the roots have been pretty tame, but their problems are coming, because there already are roots growing into the tank, and a tank like this typically wouldn't have much of any roots growing into it. The roots are getting in simply because of the accessibility. Whoa, whiteout. The accessibility of the roots being made readily available by putting plants right directly on top of your tank. Not a good idea. But like I said, keep it in mind if you find yourself in this position. Maybe you can do as much of the work as you possibly can, because a lot of companies, I think we're doing this on the low end. The last company that we worked with on a similar problem like this, where we had to put in the risers and they had other repairs that needed to be done to their aerobic system, spent a little over $2,000. So if you obviously get a chance, you might want to seriously keep it in mind that it gets a little expensive, and usually when these things all occur, they happen all at one time. So you might want to think about having this stuff done at the earliest point during your construction and stuff. And got a couple of bees here that are enjoying these. I think these are yellow trumpets. They look pretty nice. Have a good day.